Switching to Davinci from Premiere or even Final Cut can be super intimidating, but it's not as hard as you would think. I would know this because I just recently quit Premiere cold turkey, and within a couple of days, I felt comfortable and confident about editing in Resolve. But guess what? You can do it too, but even faster than me, because in this video, I'm gonna share with you the main features of Davinci you need to know in order to do an edit from beginning to end. And I'm gonna do that in only 7 minutes. Kinda like how some of y'all do your wives. Pow! So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alright, so when you open up Davinci Resolve, you may get a little nervous because the opening page is a little different. But hey, just relax, because you got me, your boy. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing a cowboy hat, don't. My video, my choice. So your project window is right in front of you. For you, you may not have any projects as of yet. The first thing you can do is create your project by either right-clicking in this window or just hitting new project down here at the bottom. You didn't see that. All right, now that the project is open, before we even talk about the layout, let's go ahead and set your project up. Go to File, and then Project Settings. Now you can set it up to how you want your timeline, 1080 or 4K, 24 frames per second, 23.98, whatever it is that you want to do. If you're editing a portrait style video, you don't even have to manually flip the numbers. You can just hit this button here and then hit save. You could have also gotten that window by clicking the gear icon down here at the bottom right. Now that we're all the way in and ready to start, you can see that the interface of Resolve is actually very similar to Premiere. The major thing that is different though that we'll touch on just a little bit is here at the bottom you have media page, your cut page, edit page, fusion, color, fairlight, and delivery. But for now, don't overthink those at all. These pages just allow you to have a dedicated workspace for each specific task, which is mostly beneficial if you're going to edit with a team. Ultimately, you can still do everything on one page, which is your page right here in the middle, the edit page. Now, the first step in editing your video is importing your footage and your content. Your media pool is where everything will land. Now, the same as Premiere, if you want to import, you can either go up to File, down to Import, or you can right-click in the media pool and do it here. Click, click, boom. All right, so once we get our footage imported, then we can grab, drag, and drop into the timeline. From here, the bulk of editing is really just cutting. So I'm going to show you where your tool is for cutting, which is called your blade tool, which is right here. Now you can scroll through and cut up your shots. As you're cutting, I'm sure you'll want to move things around and delete the spaces between your shots. So to switch back to your selection cursor, just hit the A button. And instead of scrolling back up to the blade tool, you can actually hit B for blade. All right, so cut through your shots to the end and organize away. Ugh, and of course my phone is ringing while I'm trying to teach you something in 7 minutes. Now you're gonna probably want to add titles and effects, etc., things like that. So I'll show you where you can locate those things as well. If you scroll up to the top left, you'll see effects. Here you'll now see your toolbox open up where you have video transitions, audio transitions, titles, and effects. And I have to brag on Davinci here. The library of effects and titles are way better than in Premiere. Not only that, but if you go over to the sound library tab up here, you'll see that Davinci has a free sound library that you can download for free. All of these effects are simple drag and drop wherever you want them. Now, a new window you need to know about is called the inspector window, which is at the top far right. You can see it right here. If you click on this, you'll see this is where you can change the size of your individual clips as well as crop and do other things. But it's also where you'll fine tune those effects and titles that you've added as well. And you can also make adjustments to your audio here too. Once you finish up your edit, what you'll do now is switch over to your color tab. Once you switch here, things can get really intimidating because this is where we come face to face with the infamous nodes. We'll deep dive on coloring in a later video, but for now, if you use LUTs, I'll show you my basic quick way of how I color in Davinci. Nodes can be super intimidating, but all it basically is just adjustment layers. By utilizing each adjustment layer for specific effects, you can be more effective with your coloring. So I like to work off of 3 nodes. So I right click in the node window, scroll to add node, and then corrector. Repeat this so now you'll have 3 nodes. Then we'll connect those 2 nodes, and with this last node, I'll add on a LUT. Right click, scroll down to LUT, and you will see a ton of options. Most of these are built-in LUTs, so in the future video, I'll show you how you can add your own LUTs. But for now, on the first node, I like to adjust things like brightness, shadows, contrast, etc. You have a plethora of different tools here running from left to right, but the main ones I use are the color wheel, HDR color wheel, and the curves. You can adjust your highlights, shadows, and color boost, which is similar to saturation a little. At least I think that's what it is. And then my second node is where I will shift my highlights and shadows. So get a little more stylistic on this one. And that's about it. There's probably a million ways to use the nodes and color, but for now, that's how I do it until I get a little bit better. Now, for your clips that are similar to this one that you've colored, if you hit Command C on the clip and then go to the similar clip and hit Command V, it'll paste your nodes on that clip. And if you need to make adjustments, you can adjust as needed. Once you colored each of your clips, you can flip back to the edit page and take a look at everything. And then once you confirm that you're happy with everything, you're at the best part of the process. exporting. But before I show you how to finalize your video, if you're enjoying this content, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you can be the first to know when I'm dropping content. Giveaways, tutorials, it all. Now that that's over with, alright, now that that's out the way, scroll on over to your delivery tab. Now to the left is where you have your render settings. You can name the video, choose the location, your format, etc, etc. All of this is going to look very familiar to your previous editing program, whether that's Premiere or Final Cut or whatever it is. Once you have everything set the way that you want it, add it to render queue, and then scroll over to the right and hit render 1 or render all, however many you render. And that's pretty much it. But as you know, we only scratched the surface. There's plenty more for you to learn concerning Davinci, like using short keys to access all of these things that I just taught you, which will allow you to be a lot more creative. Check out this video here, and I'll tell you a little bit about those.